Great. So in the previous video, we already spoke about the eraser tools, and I'm sure that by now you know how to use the background eraser tool, the magic eraser tool, and the normal eraser tool. So in this video, we're going to be talking about gradients. Now, gradients are a very interesting part of Photoshop. They help to make your work pop, and they help to make your work look more realistic. Sorry. So what are gradients? Gradients are basically like a they are a spectrum of more than one color, right? Usually more than one color. Like it shows different grades of a color. All right, so that's what a gradient is. I know you already know what gradients are. Okay, so very quickly, let's jump into the gradient tool. So this is the gradient tool. Right, when you click on the gradient tool, the cursor changes to this plus sign you see here. Now, how do you work with this plus sign? Okay, now here's what you do. Now, for the gradient tool, you'll very much be needing the property panel, or the property bar or the options bar. Right now, this first bar you see here is where you create your gradients. Okay, is where you create your gradients. Already Photoshop has given you some preset gradients. So you click down here, you can see several preset gradients, but let's use this one that has already been created here. You click how you use your gradient tool, you click and you drag. Right? You see that when you click and drag, it automatically just creates a gradient. Now let's undo that, Ctrl Z. We're going to work in this new layer we've created here. That's what we're going to work in. So now, so for your gradient, you just click and drag. Okay. So let me talk about the property menu first. So now the first thing you see here is your gradient. This is where you make your gradient selection. Now, if you click this drop down arrow beside it, you could pick any gradient of your choice. But if you double tap on it itself, it opens the gradient editor dialog box, and this allows you to be as flexible as you can be. So here you can pick in your custom color, you can make some adjustments, right? You can increase the amount of colors that make up your gradient. Okay, so for here now look at these tiny ink boxes here, these tiny stoppers here. Okay, these tiny stoppers, these are where you choose your ink. For instance, this is already on blue, right? When you click it, you can see the color. This is the color here for this. So this is what's selected right now. This is what to select. Okay, now when you select this, you can see, sorry, let's do that. When you select this, you can see this is the color here. So this is basically purple here and blue here, and everything in between shows you the range of colors, the more or less like a spectrum between purple and blue. So now if I want to change this color now, say to red, I click on this particular stopper, double click on my color, go on to red, right? Change it to red. Good. Okay. Okay. The same thing with this blue. You want to change it to yellow, you click on it. So you can either double click on it or click on it and click on color. Then let's change it to say yellow. Let's change it to yellow. Okay. I think I'm okay with this. Then you click OK. Good. Now you can also move these stoppers. You can move them depending on how much you want. As it is now, what you're saying is you have 50% red, 50% orange in terms of location, right? But by the time you move, sorry, you can move your yellow, right? You can move your yellow, right? This shows that you have more yellows showing. You could move your red also. Depends on how you want your gradient to be. Okay. Also, if you want your gradient to have more than one color, you could just click anywhere. You see, watch what I'm doing. I just click here. You see, I got it a new. Once you click anywhere, you get a new ink box or a stopper, right? Either you double click on it or you click on color. Then let's change that to a blue. Okay, let's change that to a blue. So can you see that? You can have as many stops as possible. You could click here again, change here to green. Okay, so you could have as many stops as possible. But for this, I want to keep just two stops. So I'll delete these two stops here that we just created. So how do you delete it? You click on the stop and press delete. Okay, click on this and press delete. Good. Now just click OK. Good. So now you can see here that we've made our own custom gradient selection. Good. Now the next thing I want you to know about are these gradient styles that we have here. Now the first one here is a linear gradient. A linear gradient, as the name goes, line, is just in a line. It could be horizontal or vertical. That means that you're saying that the colors are spread either horizontally or vertically, right? This is what I mean by a vertical linear gradient. So if you look at this, sorry, so we didn't select that. So let's select the linear gradient. So when you select it, now let's just click anywhere on the top and just drag down to the bottom, right? Good, this is what we call a linear gradient. You can see that the red is on top, the yellow is underneath. That's a vertical linear gradient. That means the colors are stacked on top of each other. Okay, let's undo that. Now for a horizontal linear gradient, you draw from here, right? Horizontal line this way. Good. So you see the red is coming from the left while your yellow is on your right. That's a horizontal linear gradient. Now, you are not only constrained to vertical or horizontal, you could as well make slanty lines. Okay, you can see the gradients will definitely follow whatever lines you make. The gradients will follow whatever lines you make. Okay, you can see that. You can see. So just go ahead and be creative as much as you want with gradients. Okay. Now that's for the linear gradient. Then let's look at the radial gradient, right? Radial, as the name goes, is a circle. This radial gradient. Now you click somewhere in the middle and you drag. Okay. Now, as you can see, the color you have on your left comes in the middle, while the color on your right shows outside around it. So you can see this is a circle in the middle, and then you can see your yellow color all around it, right? Now, what if I want the yellow to be inside and the red to be outside? What do I do? Undo that, come over here, you see reverse, click on reverse, then click and drag. Immediately you see that that changes. The red comes outside, the yellow goes inside. Okay, so click on reverse and that changes. Good. So that's for your linear gradient, your radial gradient. The next one you have here is your reflected gradient or angle gradient. So for this, you click and drag so you see what it looks like. You can see this, right? It's more or less like an angle. I rarely use this. You see, I rarely use this, but you could be as creative as you want to be as possible. Then the next we have here is the reflected gradient, right? Reflected, let's click on our reflected gradient. Okay, then you see it allows you, this one here has more spectrums. Okay, you can see. See, if we click this way now, you see, okay, now then after that you have your diamond gradient. Okay, so you click on diamond gradient. This is what your diamond gradient is like. You can see that your yellow is forms a diamond shape in the middle. Let's do that again. See your yellow here forms a diamond shape in the middle. Okay, good. So that's that about the gradient styles. Then we'll move to the opacity. Opacity is the same thing. You want your opacity to be, say, 50%. Let's say you make it 30%. You click and you drag. You see, it just creates that very nice feel over your work. Okay, let's pick a radial gradient, and then yeah, you see, has a very nice feel over your work. So this is how a lot of people start retouching images, right, with gradients, making it look so good. Okay, so Ctrl Z. Remember the reverse, also transparency and all of that. So that's really that about your gradient. Your gradient is not a complex tool, it's just pretty straightforward. If you've been designing with other software before, you're very familiar with gradients. It's pretty straightforward. So now I want us to do something. Remember on this layer, that's the layer just below the new layer we selected. Remember that we already used an eraser tool on our model in the previous work that we did. So we already used an eraser tool on her. So what I want us to do is I want you to change the background. We want to change the background to a gradient background. You know, it's a plain color. This is a plain color. We want it to be a gradient. So let's do that. You create a new layer and drag the new layer to the bottom, right? Then, or alternatively, you could just choose your gradient. I'm going to work with, let's say, what colors do I work with? Let me see. Okay, I think I want to work with this color. Okay, I just chose this gradient, but you can also just be creative. Let me bump that down a little bit. Okay, then I take it up, bump it down a little bit. Good. Then I click here and we'll take this up a little bit. No. All right, good. Okay. Okay. So I want a radial gradient. So let's see. Okay. No, I think I rather a linear gradient instead. A linear gradient. So good. So now what I'll do next is to push this below the layer. Awesome. So there we go. There we go. We have already created a gradient layer, right? We have changed the background from what it used to be here to this with our gradients. Okay, so you could be as creative. Remember, this is the gradient we did. You could be as creative as you want with this. You could pick in more colors, change as much as possible, make your work look good. Okay, so there's that about gradients. Okay, very simple and very straight to the point tools to use. Okay, now after the gradient tool, another tool I want you to know about is the paint bucket tool. The paint bucket tool is just, like a paint bucket. What it does is it pours colors on what you want it to pour color on. Very simple, it's like a paint bucket. In fact, look at the icon, it looks like a paint bucket. The icon itself is like a paint bucket. So it's a pretty simple tool to use. Now for this, I want us to duplicate our background layer and then take it to the top, right? So I'll show you. Now, once you click the paint bucket tool works with your foreground color. So the moment I click here, you see, now I want you to really know what's going on right now. First of all, let's create a new layer. Let's create a new layer. Good. Now, on this new layer, just click anywhere with your paint bucket tool. It automatically fills it with your foreground color. Automatically fills it. Good. Now let's undo that. Also undo that, undo the new layer. Now let's go back to your background layer, right? Now, I want us to create a new layer right now. Good. Now, take any of your selection tools, either your rectangular marquee tool or just any of them, and then draw, make a selection. Good. Now, pick your paint bucket tool and click in that selection. You see, this is also a fast way of filling a color, filling the selection with a color. So even if I had picked an elliptical marquee tool, I had selected, I just pick my paint bucket tool, right? And then I click, it automatically fills it with a color. Okay, good. Now another thing, so let's delete this layer. Another thing a paint bucket tool works, it works somewhat like your magic wand tool, right? So when you can change the background of an image using your paint bucket tool. Now, if I come to this image background and I click here, you see what's going on. What it has done is it just selected colors around the first pixel I picked and changed it to our foreground color. Now let's undo that. Let me show you something. Remember when we spoke about tolerance? Okay, remember we spoke about tolerance. You also have tolerance as one of your property menu for your foreground colors. Now let's increase our tolerance to say 57. Good. Now let's click. You see that it has encroached in here. So let's just take it down to say 40. Okay, you can also click and drag this way to reduce. Okay, you see, you click there, you click. I'm just showing you this is just a rough, very rough sketch, right? So you come here, click. Okay, for this, you reduce the tolerance some more. You click, reduce tolerance some more. Okay, so this is also another way your paint bucket tool works. It also works like your magic wand tool. You just click and reduce, click and reduce, click and reduce. Okay, that is very simple and straightforward, right? Simple and straightforward. Okay, now this 3D material drop tool is when you're working in 3D. Okay, when you're working in 3D in Photoshop, that's when you use this. I'm not going to cover that in this tutorial. Okay, now working in 3D, you make use of this. Okay, good. So that's about the paint bucket tool. That's about your gradient tool. Okay, in the next video I'm going to talk about very interesting tools you also use in image retouching. See you in the next video.